So you admit it. You need help with things in your home. Well, I guess not particularly. You're here to watch me tell people what to do with outdated things in their homes. I had everyone submit. Last week I talked about it in a video, or if you follow me on Instagram, I was like, if you have some outdated stuff in your home, submit it to me and I'll tell you what to do with it. So I could technically tell you to just keep it and be like, well, that's fine. And it's true. But also, like, you know, maybe there's some small upgrades you can do. Or I guess I could be like, get rid of it all. But the goal of this video is to give you ideas for upgrades that, you know, you're not like demoing the whole space. Like, you're not demoing the whole kitchen. You're just upgrading it in the ways that I would suggest, I guess. And if you watch my channel, you know that I do like to keep as much as I possibly can. I don't want to just go in and be like, those cabinets are old, that wood is ugly, get rid of it. I'd rather find a way to work around it. So welcome students and people and friends from all over to the inside of my house where we're just hanging out. I'm actually not really teaching you anything. You can learn from me if you decide, but that's on you. So, okay, let's start today's video of, it's like, what is the title? Giving advice on items that are outdated in your home and what to do, whatever. Okay, let's start on this kitchen. These blue IKEA cabinets. And this person said that these are outdated IKEA cabinets, but I don't think those are outdated IKEA cabinets at all. Those are vintage IKEA cabinets. So you should definitely keep those. For me personally, I don't gravitate towards that color blue that much. But if I rented a space or bought a home that had those in there, I don't know if I would necessarily get rid of them. Unless you're doing a giant kitchen reno, you could put them into another room or an office or whatever. But I'm assuming you have to keep them. So I would just lean into the blue. Here's a few good examples of how to decorate a kitchen with blue cabinets. I also think adding in a bunch of little art along that back shelf or one bigger piece above that other shelf, I like it. I honestly think you should keep it and just upgrade the space around it. Now that I'm zooming in, I do see that you have some pretty random tiles of like bread and wheat. But I don't know, for me personally, I do kind of like those. I like when there's a weird tile. It really doesn't make sense, the layout of that. But honestly, I just would keep it. Is that going to be my whole video, just saying for you to keep it? For this kitchen, again, this is all pretty dependent on budget or if you're renting or if you own it. But these cabinets are pretty standard. They look like they're kind of particle board. So if you own this space, I feel like this is a really easy area to do a full upgrade by just knocking it out. If you're able to do a little bit of renovation to this, I actually would knock out all of the uppers and you could keep the bottoms, save you some money there. And then I would build out some cabinetry on the left side of it. So the sink and over to the left, cabinetry all the way up. And then there's like this little jolt in the wall. And that's where you could do like counter to ceiling shelves. I think that would look really cool. Overall, this is an interesting little cutout in the kitchen. I think you could easily upgrade it. I don't think there's anything worth saving because they are just kind of, you know, particle board cabinets. But let's say you can't rip them out. You could upgrade the handles. The handles don't look too bad. But if you're a renter and you need to, you know, keep this, I think a way to give it a little upgrade is maybe taking off the door on the far right cabinet or just removing that cabinet in general. Like you could store it somewhere. And then again, doing some shelving or like cork board. Like, I don't know, I'm pretty inspired by that one strip of wall. This piece feels almost too outdated or too used and not maybe worth it to like sand it down and bring it back to the original wood. I am not a fan of the legs on that particular piece, so I don't recommend doing anything to this piece unless you really love it. But if you really want to keep this piece, I would either paint it and make sure to strip the hardware at least, because right now the hardware is painted the green. And the second thing I would do to this piece is I would remove the legs and I would wall mount it. I think this could look really cute as a nice little wall mounted cabinet. But overall, I feel as though you could toss this and thrift something kind of similar and in better shape. Okay, so for this dining table with a bench, I actually think that style of table looks nice in certain spaces. I don't think you should get rid of it. I mean, unless you want to, whatever. But the video is on upgrading things. What is the video title? Upgrading things in your home, what to do with your outdated items. Anyways, I do think you should keep the table. However, I think you should toss the chairs and the bench. I don't feel like the bench is necessary. That type of leg being repeated again with the bench, I feel like is what's making it look more outdated. I would, toss all the seating and thrift something, that complements the table but is a little different, maybe a little sleeker of a leg. Like the white chairs aren't terrible. They're not exactly the modern touch I would add. But yeah, just toss all of the seating, keep the table, move it out from the wall. Like it looks like you have some space. It doesn't need to be pushed so close up. And then I think you could keep it. But I do like that table. Again, wood always comes back around, all styles of wood. This person got this napkin, or I guess it's not a doily, but like just a linen napkin that her grandmother who passed away embroidered this. And I agree with her. She's like, what do I do with this? It reminds her of her grandmother, so she wants it out. But I do, I'm like, do I put this in the middle of my dining table? Which you could do, but I think you should frame it. I think this is such a special and unique piece to frame. I think you could pick a fun matting color to go behind it. You also could frame it without glass on the front. Hold on, let me show you. I don't know what this type of framing is called, but basically it's like how you can frame like a canvas piece of art. There's no glass. I'm framing this for my parents for Christmas, or I did. I painted this in like 2017. No idea why. Must have been a hobby at the time. But I feel like you could go in and have them frame out the napkin and then just don't put glass on top of it. I think that would look really cool. And then it's kind of like you can still touch the material. Okay, so this person is showing us their home in Kleinbrock, South Africa. What a beautiful spot. Look at those windows looking out onto the water. But anyways, this is original upholstery from the 1950s. They said everything in this house is original from the 1950s, which is so cool. I would like to see more of this house. They're thinking of recovering the chairs. Looks like it's all chairs, but would be interested to know my thoughts. So my first thought is that you have to keep the original fabric and upholstery, but I also understand that sometimes that stuff wears itself to the ground. So here would be my suggestions. If they are too worn and torn that you can't keep them, I would try and save as much fabric from the pieces before you fully reupholster. When the upholsterer takes it apart, be like, is there any fabric that is salvageable? And then you could make them into pillows. So when you reupholster it, then you have like a little nod to how it used to be, because sometimes things just like aren't, salvageable. But if they're good, then I would definitely keep them. I think that's really interesting and cool. I think you could upgrade some of the pillows on it, but otherwise, yeah. If you have a really old piece of furniture that means something to you and you're like, it's so worn and torn that I cannot use it, try and ask the upholsterer to save like any scrap pieces, because you could always make something with that fabric, because it's not worth it to keep something that you can't use just because it has sentimental value, which is, kind of unlike me, but here we are. Hey, let's take a little break to talk about today's sponsor, the one and only Bombas. If you've been watching my channel for a bit now, you know I'm a big fan of Bombas. Their socks, their underwear, I have their t-shirts, and actually all three of those items are the most requested items in homeless shelters. So every pair of socks you purchase, they also donate a pair. I don't think I have any other brand of socks in my wardrobe. I love, the height of the ankle. And I feel like every family around the holidays is getting socks in their stockings. I feel like as a kid, I didn't like that, but now I do like that. I decided to try out a new product from Bombas because it's getting chilly, and I ordered a pair of their Sunday slippers. I'm a big house slipper person. I'm always wearing a house slipper, and they have a hard bottom. So if you need to go grab your mail or take out the trash, you can do that. And the Sherpa material on the outside is really nice for the winter. Even though I am blasting my heat, my feet are always cold. Head to the link in my description and use code PAGE20 for 20% off your first order, or scan this QR code on the screen. And thank you, Bombas, for sponsoring this video once again. I love working with you. I'm using all your products. And once again, socks are good Christmas gifts. In this living room, this person doesn't love the chairs, but she has a kid, and so she's like, it's fine, we'll keep the chairs. But the main thing that she doesn't like is the mirror above the fireplace. She said it's original to the home. It's a Baroque mirror, came with the house, but she says it feels like Vanderpump Rules. Okay, first off, I feel like even if it came with the house, that doesn't mean that it's from the same era as the fireplace below it, which is a really cool fireplace. I mean, unless you have confirmation on that, because otherwise that mirror that came with the house could have just been something that the previous homeowners purchased in 2008. And honestly, by the look of it, and I could be wrong, it doesn't look like it's original. And you have a ton of cool crown molding, and that fireplace is amazing. So honestly, I would get rid of that mirror. I feel like a mirror does belong up there. My parents have such a cool big mirror above their fireplace in Chicago. You could do something like that. But yeah, I mean, maybe do a little research on, is that mirror actually original, or is it, restoration hardware from 2002? And, it has been enough time where it's like, this is old. But how old? And if it is original to the space, it's tough to get rid of that, but you could always refinish it. But right now it's like a pretty intense black mirror with like really interesting ornate detailing. So keep us posted on that. I would get rid of it if you can, though. Would be my suggestion. And then upgrade the mirror. Keep a mirror there. I love a mirror above a fireplace, especially when you have tall ceilings. This person sent their kitchen, and I'm so excited to talk about this kitchen because I've recently been chatting about my Chicago kitchen upgrade, how I just shouldn't have painted the cabinets because the wood was nice. It's a little bit of an outdated wood, but I shouldn't have painted them black. They're fine. They look good, but the quality was better before. Everything is better before, unless you're getting it like professionally done. So when I first looked at this kitchen, obviously that backsplash is horrendous and that definitely needs to go. But I honestly think that's the only thing. You really just need a backsplash upgrade. I do like your cabinets. If anything, you could replace the stone as well. But here are a few inspo photos for this type of cabinetry. I think you easily could keep it all, upgrade the stone, or just upgrade the backsplash, and it will make a huge difference. That is a nice cabinet. It's like really dark wood. And I like the little shelves. I think it's sweet. I think it's nice. Don't just knock it out, You don't need to do that. Just new tile. The granite's not bad either. Okay, this one's interesting. This is a home in New Orleans, and it has all original hardwood floors from the 60s, which is why they bought the place. But it has this spiral staircase in the den/TV room, and it's an outdated eyesore, and they don't know what to do with it. Okay, this is such an interesting staircase because it's like this modern or like treehouse looking thing in the middle, but then it has very general banisters. I'm always trying to find the word. I don't necessarily think it's a huge eyesore. I actually kind of like it. I wonder if upgrading, that is confusing because it's like very tree stumpy in the middle. I think your best option is to redo the outside like banister thing. I actually think this is a really unique piece and I think you should try and work around it. It does look like you're like stuffing your TV in there, so don't get rid of it. But I think taking that outside banner off and putting in something more sleek, whether it's, you know, more of like a floating railing or maybe it's an iron railing or maybe it's no railing if like that's even a thing. I don't know if that's what you should do, but something like this could be cool, like just like a floating arm. You know what I mean? So that's what I would do if I were you, in my opinion. I think it's cool though. Like sometimes something like that where it's like, would I ever necessarily choose this? No, but it's here. And so I like it. Oh, and one other thing is that you also could stain it. I can see your floors are kind of a more darker toned, not like orangey brown, you know, stained wood, whatever. Maybe matching the staircase to the floors would be helpful. It will blend more. It won't look so natural wood, I guess. So, yeah, that's what I would do. I would keep it though. Okay, this person has some pretty outdated vertical blinds. It is confusing when it gets like that at the when it corners, because how do you really put blinds in that space? If we're looking to do a good upgrade, I don't think there's much you can do with what you already have. And let's say you still want blinds there. In my opinion, I just wouldn't do blinds on the top section and I would just do maybe some upgraded curtains or Roman shades on the bottom. But if you're going to upgrade the top, I think one, you should pretend like the window extends so that it creates a nice perfect triangle. And then you could get some custom blinds made like this. You could do, you know, some fabric, custom shade type thing. Something like a little more sheer, something maybe that you don't always have to open. But I would kind of continue the triangle so it doesn't look so like cut off like that, I guess. But it gets tricky with that type of blind. It's kind of like, what do you do? Another option would be to put frosted glass on the upper section. That way, you know, you're blocking sunlight. You don't have to have window treatments. But yeah, it's kind of tricky, but I hope these examples were helpful. Okay, this woman is asking if she should keep this library bookshelf unit that she inherited. She lives in Italy and she's tried to upgrade the space around it to add in some more modern things, which is kind of like the whole design approach of like, if you have something old, have something new. But one, definitely do not get rid of that piece. That is one of the cooler pieces I've seen. I love how tall it is. I love how some of it is enclosed with some stained glass. I love it. I get what you're saying though, because you have, you know, the floor is kind of this tile and then it's like an old unit. So you're trying to modernize it, but 100% keep it. I think it's just working with the furniture that is in that space. If anything, maybe you could get, you know, 2 simple armchairs to go on the right and left side of the bookshelf, and then get a sofa that's like a 3-seater, center it to the room, not have the chaise, and you could create this like little library nook. Put a little ottoman in the middle, bada bing, bada boom. Don't get rid of that piece. If anything, you could put it to the other side of the room if you need to, but I love this. I love that piece so much, but I get what you're saying. When there's too many outdated things, I just think you'll regret it if you get rid of it and you inherited it, and it is cool and I like it. Another way to upgrade it would be to get some art lights. I think my new obsession, something I'm really into right now, is having art lights, or I guess not art lights, but spotlights, like how I have a spotlight above this piece of art, having it so that it shines onto the bookshelf. Another thing you could get is lighting to go in the bookshelf. That will modernize it and warm it up a bit. I have lighting on my bookshelf. It came with it where it kind of like lights up from the inside. So, you know, you could find some like a little lamp or some type of strip lighting to go inside the cabinet. But yeah, that's it. And you should keep it 100%. Okay, this person said, outdated item, the ugly and sad home office chair I bought during the pandemic. When it comes to office chairs, I mean, I have a Herman Miller. This is a very classic office chair. They're kind of pricey. I have the vintage one, but this is just a standard office chair. I don't think you need to get some unique office chair when you're sitting there all day and your butt hurts. I don't mind it. Also, if you've watched some of my videos of like what I like in home decor, I guess, I talk about the idea of adding in a touch of tech. Not everything needs to be, hidden. Like anything that looks like very techie, which I guess this office chair kind of gives me that vibe. I kind of like it. I kind of like that it's adding this, just general office vibe. I don't want to use the word vibe to the space. So I think you should keep it. I think you should just embrace the office chair. I know my sister just got kind of an office chair like this, and she was like, "You're gonna hate it," and I was like, "No, I would rather be comfy." I mean, if you're like me, it's like I will get the Eames, but I think you should keep it, or try looking on Facebook Marketplace for office liquidation sales. Those are some of my favorite things to go source furniture from because, Office Supply is my vintage store. It's very office-y themed. And so if you go to an office liquidation sale, you normally can find like chairs like that, but more vintage, or maybe sometimes some Eames, or like things that are chrome, or like I feel like they get them from like old corporate offices or like hotels. So I like it. Keep it. Okay, this kitchen is interesting. It's basically a Tuscan kitchen, but there are some unique areas that you definitely should keep. And I don't think they were questioning getting rid of the stained glass, but love the stained glass. You should keep it. Also, I think that sink is cool. And they noted that they have to keep the countertop, which I think the countertop is fine. It's just a black granite. So here is what I would upgrade. One, the cabinets. This is the one time, where I'm like, you should paint it. Well, mainly because they're not wood. These aren't wood cabinets where I'm like, add some paint. These are painted cabinets. I think you should paint the cabinets. I also think that the style of it is totally fine. It has some molding detailing, but I think once you paint them a color, it's going to look great. I think then you just need to upgrade all of the hardware. The knobs should be something a little bit more modern of whatever, color you choose for the cabinets. And then I do think you need to get a new backsplash. When you're looking at this photo, the one like by the stained glass, like the little like backsplash area is cute. Like I was like, oh, that tile looks nice. But then when you go by the stove, it gets pretty Tuscan. I don't think you need like a pasta. I mean, unless you want it. I don't think you need a pasta water thing, whatever. I would redo the backsplash. It's not awful like outside of the like stove area. But yeah, I think this could be a pretty easy upgrade if you hire a professional, don't do it yourself, to paint the cabinets. I think that with the backsplash and then a new faucet and new knobs is going to be a huge upgrade. And then you're really going to appreciate your sink and the stained glass because that's going to be like the old stuff. And then my last suggestion would be to redo the doors that are glass. There's like this interesting like moon-shaped pane that you could just take out. I would just take out the like little pane on the top, and then I like how it's glass there. I do. So just kind of getting rid of that detailing to help modernize. I also don't like despise it. Also, I really like your microwave. It looks like very Italian or like spacey. Yeah, send me photos with this because I'm curious. I feel like this could be a really good before and after. This is probably the most common kitchen cabinet that people are questioning whether they should get rid of. It's like this old oak, outdated kitchen cabinetry, which I think you should keep because I do feel in my soul and in my bones that specific type of wood is going to be back in style quite soon. I also think it's just cool, I've talked about this before, to upgrade a kitchen or a space by keeping something very specific and working around it. If you can get new linoleum tile for the floor and upgrading your countertops, I think that's really all you would need to do. I mean, the fridge is kind of like an interesting old looking fridge. I'm like kind of into it. This reminds me of my parents' lake house in Michigan. Upgrade the floor, keep the stove, so cool, and the fridge is interesting. I just like those. Upgrade the floor, upgrade the the counters. I don't even think you really need a backsplash. You could if you want. And then upgrade the 2 boob lights. You're done. But yeah, I think a lot of people hate that type of wood, and I just think you should keep it because I just know. But however, I do get like when the cabinets are that short, like it's like what are they called? Like soffits? The like wall above the cabinet. I feel like it's like useless space sometimes. So if you're willing to like do a bigger upgrade, you could keep all of the bottom cabinetry and upgrade the top. Anyways, okay, so this person is selling their condo or their home or wherever they are, but they want to make some upgrades to help it sell, which I totally get because that tile is extremely outdated. I kind of love how the tile is around the whole bathroom, but because it's outdated, it's not working. But I do feel like there's some workaround with this tile somehow. I don't know, somehow. I think you could sell that sink. I think that sink with the tile is what is really making it look, I don't even know, Tuscan, I guess, again. So sell the sink, and I think you should upgrade the light fixture above the mirror. I think that will be really helpful. Then, in order to make this tile work, because I don't think you really want to like invest that money if you're moving. I think you just kind of have to go fully into it. So everything that's white above the tile, I think you need to paint it like a dark burgundy or something that kind of makes the ceiling blend into the white section that blends into the tile. I think you just need to make it all one cohesive thing. And same with the shower curtain. I think it needs to be like a dark, like burgundy or a dark green or like something that kind of makes this all look cohesive. I think when there's something super outdated, instead of trying to make everything feel different from it, it's actually better to just lean into it. That's kind of my same advice when you have a really dark hallway or bathroom. Like, don't try to brighten it, just lean into the darkness. But I do think the new sink will be really helpful in the light fixture, and like maybe that ceiling light fixture too. And then just lean into all the colors. Okay, so this person doesn't love this giant wood fixture in their bedroom, and I am here to say I love that fixture a lot. I think you could upgrade the knobs if you want, if you're trying to make it a little more modern. And I know the mirror needs to be replaced, which is actually not that expensive. You can get custom wall mirrors pretty much anywhere, and it's really not pricey. I've been working on an interior design project this year where we've done a lot of that, and it's all just like kind of custom cut, and they install it for you. But overall, I really think you should just lean into this piece. I personally think it's really, really a special piece. It looks like it's custom built. I know the wood feels a little outdated, but I think, it's that oak wood that I think a lot of people are getting scared of. But trust me, the wood always comes back around. The wood always comes back around. Okay, look at this bathroom. This person says, I have extremely outdated looking tile in my tiny bathroom. I really don't know if I can modernize the place around it. She said she added a vibrant rug in there in an attempt to draw attention away from the blue, and she doesn't think it's working. You have to keep that tile. All you have to do is paint the ceiling a blue as well, and you're just gonna have this like crazy looking blue bathroom, and I'm into it. Here's a few examples of what you could do. I don't even hate the vibrant rug that you added in. I think it looks cool. I think you really have to just lean into this like Deucin, you know what I'm talking about? Like that vibe, that style. That's the thing. Like if I were to rent a place and it has this type of bathroom, obviously it's like, I'm not going to like build this bathroom myself if I, owned a spot. But if I had this bathroom, this was part of it, I would just be like, this is sweet. When in my life am I gonna, have this really outdated like 60s bathroom? It could be so much worse. It could be beige, gross, like, bad tile. This is cool. This is very unique. And I think you just need to paint the ceiling a blue and kind of just like lean into this look. Add in some towels that also, play off of the rug. Or I like how you added in like a vibrant, and I like the color you chose too, like this pink and red. I'm into pink and red right now if I have to like pink. But this is such a cool bathroom. So I hope me saying that this bathroom is cool, that you start to like it because it's very unique. This kitchen is so interesting to me because I love those cabinets and that you have stainless counters. This is such a cool kitchen to an extent. Then you can see that someone in like the 90s came in and gave that backsplash and that flooring. And that's where like the Tuscan style was really all of the rage. So this mix is extremely interesting. She does rent, so there's not much you can do, but you have stainless steel counters, so you could get stainless steel contact paper. I actually recently ordered that for a project and it looks really good. I don't personally love the like peel and stick tile to do behind, as your backsplash. But because you could do the stainless steel contact paper, I actually think it could make such an interesting upgrade. It's going to be very stainless steely, but I think it would look good. And then obviously there's nothing you can do with the floors. Maybe just get a runner. But I would lean into the mid-century look because the cabinets are. But those are the coolest cabinets and handles. I love how long those handles are. I'm inspired. And that's it for today, friends and family. Thank you for watching and letting me ramble about everything you should probably keep. I feel like when you come to my channel for design advice, I'm like, you should just keep that. It will grow on you. Upgrade things around it. I think I want to try and do anything I can to not do any full renovations. I really love having like a key item to work around, and anything with history or character, even if it's like a weird spiral staircase or whatever, I feel like there's always a way to make something work, and sometimes not. That is true, but I was trying to pick some missions where I wasn't like, do a full gut renovation. It's not what I'm here for. I'm trying to help you keep what's cool and how to upgrade around it. So hopefully this was helpful, and that's that. What time is it? It's 12:30. I'm going to eat some lunch. I'm flying to I'm flying to Michigan tomorrow for Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to all who do that, So yeah, I got to finish up some stuff. What else do I have to do? Lots happening, but feeling pretty good. Oh, the pillows launching I guess when this is up next Sunday. So December 7th was pillows. Here's a little preview. We'll be launching. And if you sign up for the newsletter, I announce what time. There are a decent amount of pillows, but some styles definitely have way less quantity than others. So if there's something you specifically like, I recommend signing up for the newsletter. Also me just trying to get you to sign up for my newsletter. So, all right. Bless up. Say goodbye to my piece of art I made. It's probably the best piece of art I've ever made. And I love you. Okay, bye.